it's Jenna G. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to be making cassava fries and fried kingfish. In this video though, we are going to be making it a healthy version. So we're going to be doing the cassava fries in the air fryer, and we're going to be frying the slices in air fryer as well. And we'll also just do two in the pan just to see, the differences between the one in the air fryer and the pan. So let's jump into the video. I've already got my kingfish slices here, of course, caught by the husband, of course. I'm going to be using some garlic powder, some all-purpose seasoning, paprika, some cayenne pepper for spice. Of course, this can be adjusted. I'm also going to be using some green seasoning. Now, the green seasoning usually is a combination of different fresh herbs, garlic, pepper, and all of that. So each person has their own variation of green seasoning. I'm also going to be using some cornmeal, but if you have flour, you can use that instead of the cornmeal. And I'm going to be using some egg. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using for the fish. For the cassava fries or the yuca fries, I've got my cassava logs here already. I'm using the frozen one, but if you don't want to use the frozen one, that's fine as well. I'm going to be using some all-purpose seasoning, some garlic powder, and some olive oil as well. So like I said, the cassava that I'm using are the frozen ones, but of course if you have the non-frozen ones, you can go ahead and use that as well. It's all up to you. Just the frozen ones, I don't like peeling provisions and stuff, so it makes it a lot easier, and it's in the freezer, so it's just right there ready to use whenever I'm ready to use it. The fish that I'm using is kingfish. Of course, you can use any other slice of fish that you have. Kingfish is just what husband brought home, and I said, well, why not? In the other videos, I would have used a whole red snapper. The video before that, I would have done the bochet or the snook fillets. So, little variations, little different types of fish meal ideas for you guys. So to start things off, I'm just going to be slicing the cassava into pieces. So you want to try to cut them as equal in size as possible so that the cook time will be more or less the same for all of them. Once I've got them all sliced up, I'm going to just dry some of that moisture from it. You don't want any moisture with anything that you're frying. You want to try to get as little moisture as possible on it, which will help with the crispiness of the particular item that you're frying. So once I've got them mostly dried or as little moisture on it, I'm going to be adding the olive oil and some all-purpose seasoning, some garlic powder to this. Now you can play around with this. You can add just salt and some olive oil to it, and after it's all fried, then you could toss it in a mixture of different seasonings, or you can add it in right now. You can add parsley to it as well, some paprika or some cayenne pepper if you want some spice in it. So this is one of the fun things about this particular meal. You can play around and have fun with it whichever way you like. So once you've mixed it all up nicely, we are going to be adding it to the air fryer basket, and we're going to follow the instructions on the air fryer. Now everybody who air fryer might be different temperature or different time. It should more or less be the same, so we're going to leave it for about 20 minutes or so. But check your air fryer temperature and the guidelines on it. I will still list it down below in my recipe so you guys can get an idea of what temperature I used it at, and also the bake time or the cook time that went into it. So while we have the cassava or the yuca fries in the air fryer, let's work on our fish. So to my sliced fish, it's already cleaned, by the way, cleaned lime juice and all of that in it. I'm going to be adding some green seasoning, some all-purpose seasoning, the cayenne pepper, the paprika, and some of the garlic powder in there as well. Going to mix that up really nicely, and this is one of those other things that you can have fun with and add just about any seasoning and spices to it. You can add anything that you want to it basically. So you can go about coating the fish now in two different ways. You can do a double coating, or you can do a single coat. So you can dip it into the egg first and then into the cornmeal and make sure the entire slice is covered with that cornmeal, or you can put it into the cornmeal first, then into the egg, and then back into the cornmeal. So something else that you guys can play around with and have fun with it, you know, depends on which way you prefer, or you can do some, you know, each way, up to you. Now, I'm using the cornmeal, but if you don't have the cornmeal, you can feel free, go right ahead and use flour in it, but the cornmeal just adds a nice color and real crispiness on the outside of the fish. So seeing that I have 4 slices, I'm going to be putting 2 in the air fryer, and the next 2 we're going to be frying it like as usual, as we would normally fry fish. So I've got some oil in my pan. I'm going to be using it on medium heat, medium to high. Don't want it too hot because you want to make sure that the insides cook through properly. You don't want burnt outsides. And I'm just going to be adding the 2 slices to the pan. I'm going to leave it for a couple of minutes. Now the cook time for this, the fry time, will depend on the thickness of your slice. So of course be mindful of that when you are frying your fish. So mine I'm going to leave for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and then I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to cook it for the same amount of time on the other side until you have that nice golden brown color to it. So once you have that done, you're going to set that aside, and you want to make sure that the cassava fries in the air fryer, halfway through the cook time, you want to flip it. So you want to make sure that you flip your cassava halfway through cook time. So we've got the cassava fries done, the fried fish done. Now it's time to put the other 2 slices into the air fryer. So again, you're going to be using the instructions on your particular air fryer and follow along with that. It usually gives you a guide as to how long to leave it for and at what temperature. So midway through cooking though, you want to make sure and flip it as well. So that's it for our fried and our air fried fish, and also our cassava or yuca fries. So if I have to compare the fried as an actual oil and in the pan versus the air fryer, I'll be honest, I think I would say that I prefer the fried. I like the dark color that comes from it, and I know it sounds bad, but I think the extra oil in it, I don't know, add some flavor. I mean, I know the air fryer is a healthy option, so by all means guys, go right ahead and do it that way if you prefer, but my personal preference, I mean, if we have to try to eat a little healthier, I would definitely say go for the air fryer. But I think in general, the color, you know, it just isn't as nice as when you put it into the oil to fry. So, you know, just 2 different ways of going about it. You can even do the cassava fries in the same way. You can drop it in the oil and fry it instead of putting it into the air fryer, and it'll give a nicer, darker color to the fries as well. But nevertheless, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Another fish meal idea for you guys. We Chinese love a fried fish, fried kingfish. Why not put it together with some cassava fries? If you don't have cassava, feel free and use regular potatoes and make some homemade fries. Or you can even use sweet potatoes and make sweet potato fries as well to go along with the fish. So be sure to check out the past whole baked red snapper video that I did, and also the Kerala fish curry that I did as well. I've also got stew fish up, curry fish up, a whole baked fish, a different version of it. I'll post the links for all the videos down below, of course. So if you are interested in checking out a different fish version or fish option, fish meal idea, you guys can check it out. Now, like I was saying, you can use cornmeal or flour. Now you can actually add seasonings to the cornmeal and flour. I don't think I mentioned that. So if you, whichever one you choose to use, you can add even more flavor to it by adding some seasonings to the cornmeal or the flour. So I have a fried dry video up that goes perfectly, so delicious with dal and rice. And in that, you know, I would normally put some curry in it, in the flour. You also have that option as well if you want to do it in this fried kingfish recipe. You can add it in as well. All good and well. Play around with it and have fun with it, most important. So if you did enjoy the video, guys, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video with all your friends and your family. And for those of you who are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button as well. That's just to ensure that every time I post a video, you get a notification. So of course you get to check the video out immediately, and of course share it with your friends and with your family. Thank you as always for watching, guys. Always much appreciated. The love and the support, very, very much appreciated. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.